Hey everyone, this is Rick with Social Good Software. In this short example, I'm going to be walking you through the process of reviewing the settings for your data bridge. And this is if you are using a mail provider such as MailChimp, Constant Contact, or ActiveCampaign. And I'm just going to go through and walk you through how to read the interface, what the interface means, and all the settings and options. So to do this, you simply have to click on Data Bridge. So I'm going to go ahead and click on visitors list here. This will take me over to my list, and I'm going to click on widgets, and then you will see your integration here. So this one is ActiveCampaign, but you might see your Constant Contact or your MailChimp here. The process is exactly the same for those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on ActiveCampaign here, and then I'm going to click on settings. And then here's where you get to see all the interface for the particular integration. So you can see here's the name of the widget, which is just ActiveCampaign. You can see here that it's scheduled to update once a day at 5 a.m. This is on Eastern time. And it's going to be syncing with my global list. So I just have one list called global list. And then over here, you can see here, I am syncing the information to ActiveCampaign. I'm updating all the attributes in ActiveCampaign. And then I have this option disabled. So if a constituent is not found in Ultra, create a new record. I have that disabled, which is our recommendation. And pretty much what this means is if there is a contact inside of ActiveCampaign, it will not be brought over into Ultra. And then this one here, if a duplicate records are found, update description for each attribute. This is also disabled. So if you have duplicate records and you want to update all of them, you would want to enable this. But in my case, I don't, so I'll just keep it disabled. Then I already mapped the fields to the constituent, which just pretty much tells the data bridge what the name is, the last name, that type of thing. You can click on this little gear and it'll kind of walk you through all the things that you need to map. So I already have all my mapping done, so I don't need to go back in here and remap it, but you can see here all of the values, which all look great. And then the other one is add attribute to constituent for selected list. So this is the attribute that gets added to the constituent record for each attribute that's being added into the specific integration. So these attributes here load in a second, but you can see here I just have the global list because that's the one I'm currently syncing. And then the note, this is going to go ahead and attach a note into Ultra every time a data update happens for that specific record. So again, you can go here and check and make sure it's all set up. So I already have one here called Sync Operations. So that's all good to go. Once you've pretty much reviewed the settings here, then you're pretty much ready to go and enable your integration. Once you enable the integration, it will start syncing between both systems. You just have to simply click here, click Save Settings, and then you're pretty much done. And this will run at 5 a.m. However, before you do that, you might want to actually take a preview and see what's going to happen inside of that specific integration once you do enable it. So we're going to go ahead and see the preview here in a second. And the preview is just going to show us the contacts inside of Ultra and then the contacts inside of our integration. So we're able to kind of see the contacts side by side. This will only show the first 500 contacts, and pretty much it'll tell you what the operations are going to happen, what updates will happen in each system. So depending on the size of your list, this preview might take some time to generate. So you just have to be patient here for this to generate. If it hasn't been generated before, more than likely yours will probably have been generated when you click on the preview tab. So I'll give this a second to generate. All right, it looks like that went ahead and finished. So you can see here, here's that preview that I was mentioned to you. And then you can see here all of the operations that will happen. Right now, I don't have any operations because it's already synced. But essentially, when you're ready to sync it, you'll be able to see kind of all the operations by clicking this button here, and this will filter it down. But this already has been synced, so there's no need to do any changes. You can filter by unsubscribes here if you want to see who unsubscribes. And then you can also filter down by duplicates, so you can see all the duplicates in your data here as well. This is just a preview, so you're only going to be able to see the first 500 records in the system. But in essence, this is just a summary to show you how that works. And you can see here in Active Campaign, we have 11, and in Ultra, we have 14. And again, those duplicate ones is what makes it uneven here in this case. And that is pretty much it for the preview tab. If we head over to the sync activity tab, this actually synced yesterday, you'll be able to see all the operations that happen. So you can see here the data that was synced over. If you click on this little plus, it will tell you what actually happened. So in this case, it just added a tag of professional. And then that's pretty much the activity tab. You can scrub through here through the different dates, and then you're able to see kind of what happened on each date. And then finally, the data cleanup tab. This is a little cleanup tool that we built that just kind of helps you clean up your data. So for example, here you can see how Kim is lowercase, and then the other ones seem to be good. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just force a Pascal case. So right here, and then I'm gonna click Save Settings, and then you'll see that Kim now is uppercase. So this is just a local data change. It's not actually changing your data, it's just helping you clean it. So once you're done cleaning it, then you can go ahead and click on XLS, and then this will give you your data back, and it will give you your data clean already. So you'll see here the data once it actually opens up here. You'll see the data is clean now. Here we go. And then if we go down to Kim, you see now Kim is uppercased. Now there's a bunch of options here that you can have. If you turn the option off, it takes your data back to where it was. So for example, check for first name, check for last name, remove extra spaces, remove titles, split the name with an or and, split the last name, split using a dash, split using extra space, enforce alphabetical characters, enforce Pascal case, which is what I showed you here. Check if the email address is deliverable, check if the email is found in Ultra. So you have just a bunch of options here that can help you with the data process cleanup. This tool itself will clean the data. However, it will not update the data for you in those systems. So this will not update your Active Campaign data. Like, we will not update it for you. You have to then take this list here and upload it into Active Campaign. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the walkthrough and the user interface. We also have this little test integration button. And what this does is it allows you to go through a bunch of tests just to make sure your data bridge is set up correctly. You can run these tests at any time, and it's usually around 22 tests. It takes about a few minutes for them to go through, but this just pretty much tells you that your integration is working correctly, and it does a bunch of things like your mapping. It checks to make sure you can connect to Ultra. It makes sure that permissions and roles are set up correctly. So it kind of goes through a series of steps for you to verify that everything's set up correctly. So what I'll do here is I'll let this run. All right, it looks like that went ahead and completed. And then the last and final thing here is if you go to preview, there's this button right here called Sync Data. And what this button does is the exact same thing at 5 a.m. So if we come back over here, click Sync Data, then it's gonna go ahead and sync the data for us. Nothing's gonna happen because there's no new operations to do, right? There's no updates to run between the systems because they already were synced this morning. So I am pretty happy with everything here so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this run, and I'll show you the results here once it completes. All right, looks like that went ahead and finished. And if you go to sync activity and we hop over to today, you see finished. Downloaded the data and it finished. Now nothing happened because there's no new changes. And that's going to go ahead and do it here for me. Once again, this is Rick from Social Good Software. Hopefully you found this video helpful. We're always looking to improve and make things better. If something was not clearly explained in this video, or maybe you just are still a little bit confused and have some additional questions that we didn't talk about in the video, don't worry, we're here to help. please go over to Social Good Software /feedback. You're able to provide us feedback on this training. You're able to provide us feedback on the software. We're always looking to improve. So if you have any suggestions, please reach out to us. Again, socialgoodsoftware.com /feedback. You'll be able to go ahead and share your thoughts with us, and we're always happy to help.